I'm not sure how much of this I divulged on this show before. Back in the day, I was allegedly, I'm going to use allegedly for this since I don't know if we're live or not, but I was part of this internet group, and you can laugh at me if you want, but we were the shit. And I won't go too much into the stuff that we did, but we had one hell of a prank division.
Dueling decades. All right, guys. Well, I picked up a point, tie up this game, and I get to select our next category. Let's go to the hot products round. So for my hot product, we're going to go over to the Indianapolis News, May 29th, 1998, for an article I read where the headline reads, South Park Video puts its loyal fans in a frenzy. Those screams you hear this week in your local video store won't be coming from happy parents who found discontinued, previously viewed copies of Flubber to take home to the kids. The rejoicing will come from South Park fans when they spot the brightly colored box sets of the new Comedy Central show's first video release. 3 volumes containing 2 episodes each, rated TVMA, selling for $14.95 apiece. 6 episodes include the pilot, Cartman Gets an Anal Probe, as well as The Volcano, An Elephant Makes Love to a Pig, Death, Weight Gain 4000, and Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride. As the creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone explain in bonus material fireside chats before each program which one of these episodes were their favorite. So it's kind of cool. You get some backstage thoughts of the creators early on in this series' life. So before long, the article goes on. It says the show becomes strangely addictive and has a quality that those little round heads. Before long, there's a strangely addictive quality to those little round heads and those scratchy voices. Watching a marathon with no commercial interruption proves to be the show is more than just a schlockathon of sophomoric humor, or at least it makes it a little bit more palatable. For those who have already clued into South Park's appeal, the video set will come in handy only for those who are the dopest among them who can't figure out how to program their own VCRs. So that's how they conclude this article. But yeah, it's the release of the original South Park box set. This was very hard to get a hold of. It went out of print. It's still out of print. It wouldn't be until early, I think like 2000 or in the mid 2000s where they finally released them again on DVD. But for $14.95 each, you get the first 6 episodes of South Park, May 29th, 1998.
It's a hell of a lot cheaper than the $90 VHS tape you bought last week.
Yeah. Imagine having to buy $89.95 for 2 episodes.
I have.
All right, Mancrush, what did you bring for the hot products round?
All right, so let's go to May 24th of 1988. So before the Baby Bells merged in 1996, and of course I'm talking about phone companies here, every Bell had their own little product line. And being from New York, we got to experience all that 9X had to offer at the time. So back in January, we talked about 976 numbers with Scott Schiaffo. Remember when he was on and he told us how he would get all banged up and then spend like copious amounts of cash talking to like phone sex girls? But here's another 9X product that was launched in 1988 rather. And this was still around during my high school years. And I'm not sure how much of this I divulged on this show before. I know I touched on it when we did Poop Culture. And side note here, Chris, we had an amazing punk intro done by the Mongrels back then. It's fucking fantastic. Anyhow, back in the day, I was allegedly, I'm going to use allegedly for this since I don't know if we're live or not, but I was part of this internet group, and you can laugh at me if you want, but we were the shit. And I won't go too much into the stuff that we did, but we had one hell of a prank division in this group. And we were inspired at the time. Of course, we had the Jerky Boys and 2 Bar and the Mustasha tapes. So we recorded dozens of calls, right? So one of the bits that we used to do, and keep in mind, I was in like 9th or 10th grade when we did this. So obviously we were total assholes at the time. So somebody would set up a conference call and a dozen of us or so, we would jump on there. Then this one dude that was in the group, he would use his computer to connect to TDD. If you're not familiar with TDD, it was telecommunications for the deaf. And that one dude that I'm talking about, he was legally deaf. So he would he would like log into this thing, and it was this whole console, and he could type or whatever. The whole thing's pretty simple. You would connect to it with a modem, and the operator on the other side, she would call whoever you wanted and read verbatim whatever it was that you typed in to say. So listen, the people who worked for TDD, they were amazing. They would say anything. They would never laugh. They would never hang up. They would never get mad. They just did their job. We actually had one operator who told us that hardly anyone used the service, so she didn't care. So anyway, so now here's my hot product. So the service that 9X had at the time, it was called group calling. All right. So for the mere price of 20 cents for the first minute, which is 45 cents in 2021, and 10 cents each additional minute, which is 23 cents in 2021, you can connect to a like random group of people and talk. They call these group calls, right? So there were hundreds of these groups. You would dial 550, and then each group had 4 digits associated with it. So somewhere along the way, someone found a list of hundreds of these groups. And one of these groups was called Ladies Night or something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but it was something familiar. It was just like that. And since this cost money to dial, we would have the TDD operator call our conference call, and then somebody would three-way the conference or three-way our conference to Ladies Night, whatever that number might be. And then everyone was on mute except for the TDD operator. Another bonus of this too is the operator, when she called into the conference, she had to say like, hi, I'm the TDD operator, blah, 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 give this whole like disclaimer. So nobody ever heard that because she was calling into the conference first, right? So now think about this. The group that we were calling was called Ladies Night. There was never a single female on these calls. It was all dudes. So the moment they would hear a female, these guys would just start freaking the fuck out. They would be like, hey, what's up? Like just talking, trying, like hitting on her. So we never had these operators do anything nasty, but one night we had this fucking awesome operator. So our friend, I'm not going to give his name, but he asked her if she could sing in a low voice, and he gave her the lyrics to a song. And he's like, anytime a guy speaks to you, I want you to sing this song. And she was like, sure. I mean, that was her job, you know? So she went, do your balls hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Do your balls hang low? I give you group calling by 9X. This is what we did when we were in 10th grade. But yeah, it was a good time.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I remember specifically because he asked her to sing it in a low voice, and she did. She was a fucking trooper.
Wow. Where do you sign up for a job like that?
I don't even know if they have it anymore.
Probably not. I don't know. We'll have to find out.
It's probably an app now.
That'd be a good episode. All right, Mike Ranger, what did you bring for the hot products round?
Well, on May 26, 1978, Resorts International opened Atlantic City's first legal casino with crowds of people lined up all around the boardwalk. In an effort to revitalize the city, New Jersey voters in 1976 approved casino gambling in Atlantic City. Resorts International became the first legal casino in the eastern United States. Soon other casinos would open on the boardwalk, though many critics argue that the gambling did not eliminate many of the city's problems, some which believe it actually made some of the city's issues worse. Though one of the most popular tourist destinations in the United States has not gained the same popularity as Las Vegas as a gambling city. Resorts International Hotel opened its doors at 10 a.m. on May 26, 1978. Originally only able to operate for 18 hours on a weekday and 20 hours on the weekend, led to massive lines as people waited for hours to get inside. So Resorts International Casino, Atlantic City.
That was the first one down there?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I don't know why I assumed.
It was way before.
Yeah.
I think it's because all the movies we watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Makes it seem like it was around like during Goodfellas.
Yeah.
All right, let's toss it down to Judge Chris DeMakes for his ruling on the hot products round.
I kind of want to go for Atlantic City because Less Than Jake's playing there in a couple weeks. We're playing the Atlantic City Beer Festival on June 5th. I want to go for it. I'm just not a gambler. I find casinos just to be, I don't know. I'd rather attend an open casket funeral than hang out in a casino. Just bums me out. But you know, South Park's cool. Certainly, what a crazy cutting edge cartoon that thing was, and just pushing the boundaries. But I got to go with 9X, and I'll tell you why. I actually used the service. I remember using it with friends. This was the precursor to group text and Zoom phone calls. Poor man Zoom. You know, those 976 numbers, they just so happen to be on all the programs that 15 and 16-year-old kids with raging hormones would be watching on Saturday night. You know, Saturday Night Live and all these, you know, I remember watching Headbangers Ball on MTV, and that would come on, you know, called 976, whatever. And inevitably we'd be at some friend's house, and we would, I remember my one friend, Eric, I think his parents got like a $500 phone bill for us calling 976 numbers. So I'm going 9X.
Yes.